Hello and welcome to the Insecure Chef. We're here with Regina today. Today we're going to be doing chicken Alfredo with fettuccine. You can do it with fettuccine noodles. You can do it with Tagliatelle noodles. They're both the same, the long thin type. So we're going to do that today. We're going to get started. I'm going to cut up the chicken. We're going to do a little velveting of that chicken to get it nice and tender, since I'm using a boneless, skinless chicken breast, about 6 ounces or so. So I'm going to start it out by cutting up the chicken that you see in front of me here into strips. So I'm going to start that right now. Okay, in approximately 1.5, 2-inch strips, something like that. And this, of course, is for servings for essentially one. Obviously, if you like this recipe and you want to do it, just double it or triple it as you see fit. Okay. So we have the chicken there. All right. I'm going to keep my water running a bit, just rinse my hands off as I touch the chicken. What we're going to do now, as I mentioned, we're going to velvet it, and that's a technique. The technique I use is egg white and cornstarch. And what I do is I take the chicken pieces and I put them here in this bowl. Or in your case, you'd be putting it in your bowl, like so. Like that. And then I'm going to use half an egg white, just half, that's all you need, nothing fancy. You can use the egg white this way, like so. There you go, that's more than enough. All right, get rid of that there. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. Dump that in there like that. Okay. And then I'm going to mix it. Once again, I'll use my hands to make sure I clean up afterwards. All right, we're just going to get this around. You want the, essentially the cornstarch to be pretty much absorbed, if you will, by the egg white. It's not super critical. You just don't want chunks of cornstarch sticking to the chicken. Alrighty. That's looking pretty good. Like that. All right, and we're just going to let this sit a bit. Doesn't take long. I'm going to let that just sit out there for a moment while we get ready to get the fettuccine noodles cooking. I'm going to cook them to approximately a firm texture. That's about 12 minutes according to the box, and that's what I'm using the box directions. So I'm over here. It's the fettuccine I'm using right there. And again, there's the Tagliatelle you could also use, which is very similar. It's a long noodle. So I'm going to be sticking that in here. And you can cook as much as this as you want, obviously. It depends on how hungry you are. All right, let's get that in there. What do you think, a little more?
Yeah, I guess, just a little.
In case you want some. Or maybe you want some pasta.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll do. All right, we're just going to let that sit in there, get this rocking and rolling a little bit. I'm going to start the timer in a minute here. All right, so now the chicken has been sitting there. Let me get my recipe up here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, in the skillet over here, maybe you want to come to this side now. In the skillet here, I've been heating up about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. Remember, this is olive oil, so you don't want to get it too rip-roaring hot because it will smoke. You'll start to see that happening right now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting in the chicken. Get some water running once again. I'm going to be putting in the chicken pieces, and we're going to try to keep them separate. So, like that, and this should be the last piece going in. All right, okay. Again, give my hands a good rinse. And we're going to let that start to cook up a bit. And we're going to saute this until they're about about halfway done. Try to keep them initially separated, otherwise the egg whites will stick together. Now that velveting step I did with the egg white and the cornstarch, that's completely optional. But I found it really does help to make chicken breast a little more velvety and a little bit more juicier. It's a technique that the Chinese food restaurants use all the time for all their protein. All right, just going to let that saute a little bit. Okay. And when that's about halfway done, I'm going to be adding the salt, the pepper, the paprika, all that good stuff. That way it gets a nice little color to it. I find appearance of food is almost as important as the flavor. Okay, they're cooking up nicely. So like I said, when they get about halfway, and that's just an estimate, you know, you'll have an idea of where you are at. And if you're really concerned, you can always put a thermometer in, making sure it gets to that 165 temperature. problem. Alright, at this point, I'd say they're about halfway cooked. I'm going to now put in maybe just a little drop of oil, not much more. I don't want it to be too dry in the pan. And now I'm going to sprinkle in our salt and pepper. As always, the quantities are on the site. Regular paprika, you could use sweet if you like. You can even use smoked if you like. Today I'm just using your basic run-of-the-mill paprika. And we're going to give this a mix. And we're going to let it finish cooking until we're sure it's done. And like I said, if you like to check, which we usually do, you can simply use a thermometer. Get an idea what the internal temperature is at. Take this big fat guy here. Well, he's already at 172. This guy's already at 175. 173. Yeah. I would say that they're all safely cooked at this point. So we're going to be just getting them out of this pan, moving them on the dish for the moment. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, looks good. Smells even better.
Yeah, of course. That looked to your satisfaction? Cooked?
Yep, cooked.
You want me to check one more time?
Well, you got high numbers, right?
Yeah, they are high.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're well over the 165 mark. So I'm going to take them out because you don't want to dry them out. I'm going to put them here on this plate. Okay, let's put them over there for the moment. I'm working at about medium heat right now, maybe a little lower. All right, so fettuccine is still cooking. We got about 5 minutes left on that. And now we're going to continue now to make the sauce. So we're going to be adding some butter and garlic. And then that's going to get followed up with heavy cream, which I'm going to weigh out right now. I'm going to be using half a cup of heavy cream. Get that ready. So I'm going to be putting in the butter and the garlic. About a tablespoon of butter. Don't do what I typically do, wind up having the paper go in it. I'm notorious for that. I look around all sides, it always seems good to me. Then I put it in, and then I find out that something's gone wrong. So let me get that. I'm going to add my garlic to that. Okay. I like a lot of garlic. You use 1 to 2 cloves. So leave that around. You don't want to burn that up. Yeah, you just want to do this until you can smell the garlic. It's fragrant. Doesn't take long, maybe 30 seconds or so. Right now I'm going to add in the cream. Cream's going in. Like so. Give that a little stir around. And right now, I'm going to let this sit on the side for a moment. We're simply going to wait for the pasta. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to take the pasta right now. Close this off. Move this over. I'm going to take the pasta and I'm going to put it right in the pan here. Don't worry about the water. A little water is nice in here. Put that right in there. That's probably plenty there. Okay, I'm going to give that a little mix. There, like that. Now we're going to be adding the mozzarella cheese. You can use parmesan as well. Either one. I chose the mozzarella for today. Going to put that in there, mix it right up. And what you're going to do is you're going to just mix it around until the cheese basically melts right in there. Making a very deliciously creamy and tasty sauce. You getting that, babe?
Yep.
Okay, you see that the mozzarella has pretty much disappeared into the sauce. All right.
Nice and gooey.
Nice and gooey. Okay. Now we're going to be adding back in our cooked chicken. It goes right back in there. Get that nice and coated. I can turn my heat off now. Alrighty. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm going to bring this over to here and I'm going to plate it when we figure out the plate is. There we go. Okay, gonna sit down there and plate it. Now, if you're into appearances, what you can do, okay, what you can do if you're into appearances is you can kind of, when you present it, you can always take your chicken and lay it across the top, nice and restaurant style kind of thing. You get the idea. But I'm not going to sweat that. Hey, look at that. Well, anyway, you get the feel for it. We're going to give it a taste and see how it came out. Usually, however, you'd finish this off with just a little sprinkle of oregano. There's a nice little topping flavor, like so. What do you think?
Yummy.
We'll give this a shot right now. We'll try the chicken. Cooked very well, as you can see. Very good. I really like this, man. Let's give the fettuccine a little taste.
Yeah, I used to love fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah, well, that's what this is.
Basically.
Basically. Excellent, if I may say so. So, Chicken Alfredo from the Insecure Chef. Thank you very much for watching. Please tell your friends and your relatives to stop by, see what we're cooking. Say hello to me, Regina, and Eli the dog, who had no commentary today. That's a rarity.
Good boy.
So again, Chicken Alfredo, thank you again. Enjoy the rest of the summer. It's already the first week of September, so summer's going quick. However, it was a scorcher today, so enjoy it while it's here. Take care.
Have a good night.